Call the meeting in order at 6:02. Trustee Brito, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Yohannes is going to read our statement. Oh, sorry. Roll call first.
Student trustee Malik,
Yes.
Highlight on your thing. So board president, before we begin tonight, I want to have it noted for the minutes that trustee Delphine Polk is participating in the board meeting via Zoom for just cause pursuant to California Government Code section 4953.8.3 subsection C2. The trustee Delphine Polk is online using her camera and video and is in a remote location where she is by herself right now.
Thank you, Chancellor.
student trustee Migliaccio.
Here.
Trustee Withrow, absent. Trustee Gonzalez Yuan.
Here.
Trustee Napoleon Bellarice.
Here.
Trustee Delphine Polk.
Here.
Trustee Yohannes.
Here.
Trustee Gonzalez Brito.
Here.
Trustee Quinlan.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Now, can we get our affirmation read?
The Peralta Community College District Board of Trustees is committed to our effectiveness as a board. Excuse me. Through an annual self-evaluation and the establishment of meaningful goals, we dedicate ourselves to functioning as a high-performing team on behalf of the people we represent in helping students reach their educational goals. We, therefore, commit to honoring and upholding these commitments in words and in action. The full statement of cooperation is attached to this agenda item, but in summary, we commit to 1, building trust and seeking to understand each other, 2, being prepared and following good governance and ethical protocols, and 3, modeling the behavior we want others to exhibit.
Thank you, Trustee Yohannes. Council, do we have a report out on closed session?
On February 10th, 3750 from their position with the district on a motion by trustee Nikki Gonzalez Yuan, second by President Quinlan, and a vote 6-0. Trustee Reese, yes. Trustee Withrow, yes. Trustee Delphine Polk, yes. Trustee Gonzalez Yuan, yes. Vice President Gonzalez Brito, yes. And Trustee Yohannes absent. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Moved.
Ooh. I didn't hear. Motion was made by trustee Easton, the second was made by trustee Brito. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Malik,
Yes.
student trustee Migliaccio,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Yuan.
Yes.
Trustee Napoleon Bellarice.
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk.
Yes.
Trustee Yohannes.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Brito.
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from February 10th?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion was made by trustee Ewan and the second was made by trustee Yohannes. Is there any discussion or any change to the amendments? Okay, can we have roll call, please?
Student trustee Malik,
Yes.
student trustee Migliaccio,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Yuan.
Yes.
Trustee Napoleon Bellarice.
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk.
Yes.
Trustee Yohannes.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Brito.
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. Do we have any associated student government reports tonight? None. Do we have a Peralta Classified Senate report tonight?
No, board president.
We do have a district academic support tonight.
Yes, we do. Good evening, Board of Trustees, Chancellor, and the college community. My name is Leslie Blakey, and I am the District Academic Senate President. I have been thinking a lot about journeys recently. Today, we celebrated, pending the board approval, the completion of the tenure journey for 11 of our colleagues, a status that provides job security and academic freedom, as well as an investment in the future of Peralta Community College District. And I'm thrilled that the chancellor has approved the search for 12 new full-time faculty positions to start in fall 2025. For all faculty, the education landscape has dramatically changed. Before 2020, most of our education was face-to-face with a few online classes, to 2020, where everything went online, to now where we have face-to-face, online, and hybrid modalities, each format requiring different skills to deliver educational content, and many of our colleagues moving between these modalities every day, and in fact, using skills learned from one modality to enhance another. In addition, changes in artificial intelligence has also dramatically impacted our classrooms. From the occasional Google search in the past, the beginnings of training students in how to code for AI jobs, to now the full-blown discussion and debate of how generative AI impacts the classroom, from being a tool, to the ability to cheat as generative AI plagiarizes many, many sources quickly. Some people like to debate that generative AI is not different than the introduction of the calculator to math classes, and others that generative AI has increased insecurity and lack of confidence in our students. And they worry about discovering the answers in their own knowledge, so they rely on the generative AI. But all agree that it has significantly changed the education landscape in a remarkably short period of time. Another journey that PCCD is embarking on is the transformation of our district into 4 campuses and 3 colleges to address the fiscal and declining enrollment concerns. As part of the transformation journey, along with the district classified Senate president and the chancellor, facilitated the shared governance summit at the end of February with over 100 attendees made up of students, administrators, classified professionals, and faculty. At the summit, there were report outs from district committees and presentations from the task forces. Attendees were asked for their input on the dream section of our design, discover, dream, decide, and deliver model on the questions that task forces brought forward from the discover section of looking at lots and lots of data as part of the exploration of that transformation process. Tomorrow, each of the colleges will host the Professional Development Flex Day across the campuses, with our professional development officers coordinating workshops and conversations for faculty on a wide variety of professional matters. Another aspect of our journey as professional educators. So as I said, I've been thinking a lot about ongoing journeys. And since I've been finding escape in poetry lately, I first thought of The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, but I thought that was too ordinary. And so I found this other poem by Jenny Marl, which says, "Is my destination really all that matters today? Must we hurry along and push the rest of life away? I'm standing here coming to a realization that our lives are a journey and not a destination." A famous quote that I have heard so many times before, yet in this modern life of ours, one we choose to ignore. Well, there are times when I must rush from point A to point B, but there are just as many times where I can wander free. Let's just forget my speed to destination for this day, enjoy my life's journey, and look around along the way. And so the faculty will continue their educational journey.
Thank you. We now move to public comments. Please remember this portion of public comments is only for items that are not on the agenda. If you have a comment, please wait for the item to be called to make your comment. Thank you.
We will begin with Elliot Fain, followed by Jeff Sinceri.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Good evening, Board of Trustees, Chancellor, and esteemed Peralta community members. My name is Elliot Fain. If you don't know me by my incessant emails, I am a journalism undergrad major at Laney College and this semester's editor-in-chief at The Citizen. I want to thank the district for allocating the resources for our newsroom to attend the Associated Collegiate Press annual conference this past weekend. We were able to connect with so many of our peers from across the country and learn the latest tools and tips from industry professionals. In addition to news stories and career advice, The Citizen came away with a total of 6 awards for our reporting, including first place in the news story category out of 70 submissions by community colleges statewide. That story was reported by our very own Ivan Sarabia and Tamara Copes, and written by myself and Desmond Megley. Also, in case you haven't heard, our associate editor Nelsie Gonzalez Zaragoza is going to Berkeley for J school next grad school next semester. Additionally, the citizen submitted an entry about our coverage of the November 13th shooting at Laney College and subsequent effects on the district to NPR's National Collegiate Podcast Challenge. Out of 200 entries, I am proud to report that the citizen received an honorable mention among 34 other selected publications, including just one other community college, Miami-Dade, and the likes of Stanford, Duke, and Princeton universities. Finally, next Thursday evening, the Society of Professional Journalists will honor our very own Desmond Megley with the James Madison Freedom of Information Award in the student journalism category. For over 40 years, the James Madison Awards recognize the people and organizations of Northern California who have advanced freedom of information and expression through journalism, activism, and the courts in 2025. Megley's last semester as editor-in-chief and consistent dogged work towards freedom of press and transparency earned them this recognition. Thank you for your continued support and availability to all of Peralta students. As you all know, transparency and accountability are the lifeblood of democracy. I will conclude with a quote from American investigative journalist Ida B. Wells, which remains relevant almost a century after her passing. She said, "The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them." Thank you.
Good evening, board, presidents, and assorted people. I actually just wanted to come up here this evening for two reasons. And first, I wanted to congratulate all of our faculty members who are receiving tenure this evening, pending your approval, which I'll be watching. You know, just congratulate them on the work that they've done and getting where they are. Secondly, looking at the time. Secondly, it's with a heavy heart. I have to announce the passing of Francis Howard. Late February. He was vice president of PFT for about 6 years. And he passed in Atlanta. I believe it's on February 24th. And he was around people that loved him. I'd ask that you consider closing the meeting in his honor. Thanks.
Next, we have Eleni Gassis, followed by Billy Trice Jr.
Hello, everybody. I'm Eleni Gastis. I am here this evening in my capacity as the Faculty Senate President at Laney College. And I'm here because I would like to extend our condolences to the family of Francis Howard, a man with a razor-sharp purpose, our senator, a champion of students across the district. Francis' home was in the library, but he consistently sought service in so many other areas, taking part in initiatives, joining committees, serving as PFT vice president. His fascination with mentorship, in particular, if I'm not mistaken, was one of the subjects of his doctoral work, and it was a testament to his unrelenting engagement and belief that we can all be better and we can all make a difference in each other's lives. At Laney, we're going to miss his reassuring demeanor, his steady drawl, and his steadfast belief in our community. May his memory be eternal.
Thank you.
Hello, board. My name is Billy Trice Jr., and I am a student at Berkeley City College. Also, I'd like to talk about I talked to you last month in our last meeting about the confusion about the financial fee. That when a person sign up for a financial fee, like for example, like when I want to apply something, if I don't have the much money, I can just apply for fee waiver. Now I know I made a mistake because I thought that when y'all have the free if you get 6 units for free, that I did that and on my part, I didn't realize that you had to register to apply to get a free waiver for it. And then when I look at it, it's $800. Now, I don't mind trying to pay for it because I thought I could do a free waiver, but they said that it expired. And I realized that that when it expires, it's too late, and I feel that that's not fair because, you know, I'm not that rich. I can't afford $800, and I don't understand why I have this unbalances, because when I put out there, it's just for financial aid, and I don't want that. I just want a free waiver so I can pay the cost of my subject that I took in fall of 2024, spring of 2025. And, you know, I don't mind paying for it, but not that much. And I think that there needs to be a balance in trying to do something that in the future to make it not so confusing, that if people want some student loans, then that's fine. But if people want a free waiver, then that should also be on the priority. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
That is all the public comment we have tonight.
Thank you to everyone who made time to address the board during public comments. We'll now hear from the Chancellor for her report.
Oh, I'm just asking. You did make a absolutely. So sorry. Okay. Well, thank you, President Quinlan. This afternoon, we celebrated the accomplishments of 11 hardworking faculty members who are up for tenure tonight. And I want to thank Sabrina Manrique, staff assistant, Vice Chancellor Vasconcelos, the marketing communications team, and Laney Catering for their work on the reception. And thank you to our college presidents for doing such a masterful job honoring and recognizing those. For all of you, you know, think of tenure as a crucible, refining experience. It's a journey of deep introspection, of rigorous peer review, and most importantly, listening to the voices of our students. It's a testament to their ability to adapt, to innovate, and to consistently strive for excellence. So I want to acknowledge the community of support from family, friends, and coworkers, and also recognize that the college tenure review coordinators and their individual tenure committees. So thank you. So before the board takes action tonight, I just wanted to again thank you all and thank you to the colleges for their work supporting the 11 outstanding faculty members: Erica Ye, Berkeley City College, KL Nadisha Diaz, Edwin Ocheng, and George Cruz from College of Alameda, Abraham Reyes, Emily Kwok, Marielle Fanning, Jack Smith Jr., Daniel DeVry, and Rosendo Del Toro Solis from Laney College, and Andrea Henderson from Merritt College. The Peralta Community College District is proud to support Women's History Month, Herstory Month. The colleges will have events reflecting on this rich history throughout March, so check out the college websites for details. On February 10th, 2026, I had the privilege of representing the Peralta Community College District at the California Higher Education Basic Needs Alliance Summit in Sacramento. The vital intersegmental convening held in partnership between California Community Colleges and the California State University and University of California systems brought together over 800 leaders, practitioners, and students to focus on transforming how we address food and housing insecurity, mental health, and financial stability. Our discussions centered on the braiding of holistic supports and the implementation of key legislation like Gains for Student Parents Act, all aimed at removing structural barriers that disproportionately impact our underserved students. This summit reaffirmed that meeting basic needs is not just a secondary service, but a fundamental pillar of student success, ensuring that every student across our 4 colleges has the stability required to thrive academically and persist towards their degrees. I was honored to participate with a strong Peralta cohort, including basic needs coordinators Izzy Villanueva, Katrina Santos, and Jeremy Simmons, and student leaders from BCC and Laney. Special shout out to Izzy and the BCC student leaders on their presentation, quote, going viral, publicizing and destigmatizing basic needs via social media. I want to briefly share about the 50th Annual Association of California Community College Administrators Conference, which was held in Long Beach last month. As some of you know, I currently serve on the ACA board as the immediate past president alongside Dr. Ajani Bird, who is currently serving as the acting vice president of student services at Berkeley City College. It continues to be a privilege to contribute to the work of what is really the foremost member-supported professional organization for administrators and managers across California's community colleges. The conference itself was both celebratory and grounding, marking 50 years of leadership and service across our system. I had the opportunity to facilitate a plenary panel on the future of education when an exceptional group of national and state leaders, including Dr. Darion Pollard, President and CEO of the American Association of Community Colleges, Dr. Willie Duncan, Superintendent President of Sierra College, Michelle Fichthal, Vice Chancellor of Institutional Innovation and Effectiveness at the San College District, and Wendy Stewart, who serves as an Associate Vice President and Chief Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Accessibility Officer at Miracosta College. The conversations focused on the moment of transformation facing higher education, new student realities, evolving workforce demands, and changing expectations for colleges. But what stood out most to me though it was a deep reminder that leadership in community colleges really stewardship over time. Preparing our institutions for the leaders and the students who will come after us. There was a particularly meaningful moment during the conference when the community honored the current executive director, Susan Bray, who will be retiring after 39 years of service leading the organization. Seeing former and current leaders together underscored something important. Institutions endure because people commit themselves to the work year after year, building something that extends far beyond one individual. So I was really grateful to be a part of this conference and grateful for the role I've had the opportunity to do with administrators across our system. As DAS President Leslie Blakey said on Friday, February 27th, members of the district-wide shared governance committees, over 80 participants, frankly, and the 3 transformation task force gathered at Merritt College for reports on the fall 2025 shared governance activities with special focus on the transformation plan. So I was honored of hosting alongside District Academic Senate President Dr. Leslie Blakey and Peralta Classified Senate Ms. Tashetta Henry. A highlight of the day, really frankly, I was just moved by the whole day, seeing the incredible work that's happening with the committees and the engagement. Our student trustees were there too. But a highlight of the day was the final presentation from the Education Task Force presented by students Bianca Ramirez and Christina Hassel, along with Laney Interim President Dr. Becky Absada, with help from Rosa Perez, who was unable to attend because she was visiting a potential university for transfer, but she absolutely contributed to the presentation and they did a wonderful job. As I told the attendees, it's been a little over a year since we began working with the new shared governance model, and I'm so proud of the work that we are doing collectively and collaboratively. So my deep appreciation to everybody who's been committed to serving. Later that Friday, I had the honor of being the bartender at the first ever, don't worry, we had an alcohol permit, first ever Peralta Piano Party, a fundraiser for the Peralta Colleges Foundation. What a fun evening of music, laughter, and incredible food. I'd like to thank all who attended, especially our many sponsors, including Board President Louis Quinlan, Board Vice President Paulina Gonzalez Brito, Trustee Nikki Gonzalez Yuen, Bob and Shannon Alton from Alton Construction, Future Flooring Group, and all of our sponsors, and even Trustee Napoli Abella Reese, who came at the end and helped clean up. Because I was so excited. So thanks to the generosity, your generosity and their generosity, the foundation raised over $70,000 for students. I particularly want to take a moment to really thank CEO Greg Nelson and administrative services team for helping organize the event, including, really honestly, we were sitting in conference rooms making centerpieces and gift bags in the evenings. BC Hoff for his awesome charcuterie table, Neil Bermenko and the Laney College Culinary Arts students for providing catering service. They walked around with plated. I mean, they were really brilliant. And the engineers and custodians who helped set up and take down the stage and clean up of our atrium. I mean, look at that place. It doesn't even look like the district service center. So it was such a chick hot nightclub. And of course, our performance, Felix and the Fingers, musicians Chris Gale, Jake Carter, and Jay Jackson on drums. On Friday, March 6th, I was thrilled to participate in Peralta's annual district-wide celebration of the Lunar New Year alongside our college presidents and trustee Nikki Gonzalez Yuen. This is the year of the fire horse, a symbol of energy, courage, and bold transformation. In many traditions, the fire horse represents momentum, independence, and the willingness to move forward with confidence, even when the path ahead is new. So I can't really think of a better symbol for this moment for our district. Across Peralta, we are in a season of transformation, reimagining how we serve students, strengthening pathways into college and careers, and asking ourselves important questions. What else might be possible for our community? Like the fire horse, this work requires vision, bravery, and the willingness to move together towards something greater. My thanks to the organizers and volunteers, Chung Wai Chum, Julie Seychow, Nikki Herrera, Joan Su, Fumi Saibayong, Amy Lee, John Wynn, Christina Tang Rivera, Cynthia Tang, Alice Chin, Vanson Wynn, and all who helped out with the wonderful event. And I got to say, I was particularly heartened by all the students who attended and helped lead the fun games. I learned like 3 fun new games, so it was pretty dope. And dope is like an old word, so I'm just dating myself. So it was pretty, I don't know what the new lingo is, but so may it bring energy to our work, prosperity to our communities, and bold imagination for what we can do together. Congratulations to our student athletes. The Laney women's basketball team is competing in March Madness with the 3-state tournament in full swing. Laney plays Irvine Valley College in the state quarterfinals on Thursday, March 12th. Congratulations to Coach Brian Gardier, Bay Valley Conference Coach of the Year, All-State First Team Sophomore Center Sophia Escu Gonzalez, All-State Third Team Sophomore Guard Ashanti Diaz, and the All-State Third Team Sophomore Guard Aaron Gardier, and the whole team who are currently on a 21-game winning streak.
Wow.
Go Eagles! The other 3 Peralta basketball teams also had solid seasons, with the Merritt College women finishing in a 2-way tie for second in the Bay Valley Conference and a 16-12 overall. The Merritt men finished in a 3-way tie for second in the Bay Valley Conference with a 16-13 overall record. And the COA men, those great Cougars, started the season strong but finished with an 11-15 overall record. I also want to congratulate Coach Brock Drazen and the Merritt College women's and men's track and field teams. The Merritt College track and field team delivered on outstanding performance at the Jack Albani Invitational at Modesto Junior College on March 6th, highlighting not only personal bests, but also several athletes placing among the top marks in Northern California this season. Merritt athletes currently appear throughout the region's top 10 list across sprint, hurdle, relay, jump, and throwing events. So congratulations. And I was at the game on Saturday at Laney College, and Tania Mitchell, the veterans coordinator, and I were in matching Adidas track shoots with shoes. So I had to put so big shout out for her help actually with the game day logistics. My gratitude to the Foundation for California Community Colleges and their Real Estate Pathway Endowment Program, which makes scholarships available to students pursuing certification in real estate, which includes students in the Merritt College Real Estate Program. The Real Estate Education Scholarship is designed for eligible, economically disadvantaged students who participated in pursuing a career in real estate. This endowed scholarship helps Peralta students, many of whom are first-generation working adults, afford the courses they need to complete a real estate program. By reducing financial barriers, this scholarship supports students staying enrolled, finishing their classes, and preparing careers in real estate industry. Special thanks to Ricky White from the Peralta Colleges Foundation for working with the Foundation for California Community Colleges and Merritt College's real estate program to help award scholarships to our students this year. I'm thrilled, and really the Citizen was already here, Elliot, but I'm thrilled to share that the student journalists of the Citizen have received an honorable mention from the National Public Radio, NPR, in the prestigious College Podcast Challenge. Their winning entry, a 10-minute investigative piece, showcases the rigor and professional courage of our student-run media. By earning this distinction, our students stand alongside peers from elite 4-year institutions such as Stanford, Duke, and Princeton, proving that Laney College and the Peralta Community College District continues to set a national bar of excellence in student journalism. Their recognition, in addition to all the accolades and awards they just received, is a testament to their dedication to storytelling that matters and the high caliber mentorship within our district's own student-run news program. Congratulations to Desmond Mingley, Elliot Bain, Ivan Saravia. Thank you. I wanted to get it right. Eric Bracken and their advisor, Professor Eleni Gastis. I'm going to have to say, if you haven't had a chance to listen to the podcast, I really would really welcome you to do so. It's incredible. During the month of February, Berkeley City College successfully partnered with the New Parkway Theater in Oakland to present 100 Years of Movies with Berkeley City College, a curated film series on Monday nights that bridged the gap between the classroom and the community. Throughout the month, the BCC Humanities programs showcased a diverse selection of cinematic milestones, including Fritz Lang's M, Todd Hayes' Carol, Wong Kar-wai's In the Mood for Love, and Billy Wilder's Some Like It Hot. Each introduced by a BCC faculty member, including Justin Vaccaro, Nicole Trigg, Laura Roberto, and Avi Valadares. These introductory lectures provided essential historical and cultural context, transforming a standard night at the movies into an immersive educational experience. The program was a resounding success in student engagement and fostered a vibrant community space where students, faculty, and local residents could explore a century of global cinema together. The New Parkway staffer said the series brought the biggest Monday night crowds they've seen in 5 years, so we're hopeful it might be a repeat performance at some point. Beginning this month, Peralta students now have a new option for convenient discounted hot meals on campus. In partnership with the Peralta District Leadership, FoodSure, a robotic hot food vending company, was installed hot food vending machines at each campus. FoodSure machines offer chef-prepared hot meals around $5 with easy payment options, including credit, debit, Apple Pay, and Google Pay. Featured items include pepperoni pizza, carbona, mac and cheese, gluten-free options. And so these are located throughout the 4 colleges. And I want to also just thank our basic needs coordinators for bringing this option forward for us as a district to adopt together, and to CEO Nelson for helping make this possible. And on a more somber note, I'd like to acknowledge the passing of several beloved members of our community, including the Reverend Dr. Robert McKnight, Dr. Christine Johnson McPhail, Dominique Dozier, and Dr. Frances Howard. A foundational figure in our history, Dr. McKnight, who passed away on February 7th, was a dedicated educator, Black history curriculum innovator, pastor, and community leader whose influence spanned 4 decades across all 4 Peralta campuses. He served as an adjunct faculty member for 40 years from 1980 to 2020. Dr. Christine Johnson McPhail was a pioneering higher education leader and author who began her career as a counselor and later served as dean at the College of Alameda. A recognized expert in leadership development and champion for equity, she went on to become president of Cypress College and came out of retirement to be the president at St. Augustine's University. As you heard tonight, the Laney community is certainly mourning. And I had the opportunity to work with these 2 individuals directly in my tenure as the president of Laney College. And first, we're mourning the tragic passing of Dominique Dozier, a proud Laney alumna and former staff member who served as the evening textbook reserves technician from 2017 to 2020 and as a part-time librarian. Her commitment to mentorship and library services leaves a lasting legacy across Laney College and the broader California library community. And we're also mourning, as you heard from 2 of our colleagues tonight, Dr. Frances Howard, who passed away on actually February 25th. He made it to his 75th birthday. Dr. Howard earned his Master's of Information and Library Sciences at San Jose State University in 2003 and his PhD in 2021. He started the Laney Library as an intern and has worked as an adjunct faculty since 2017. Frances was very active in shared governance here in the district. He served as the vice president and part-time faculty rep for the PFT for years, and also statewide, volunteering with the Faculty Association of California Community Colleges and as a senator with the Academic Senate of California Community Colleges. Our condolences to the families, friends, colleagues, and students who had the pleasure of knowing Dr. McKnight, Dr. Johnson McPhail, Ms. Dozier, and Dr. Howard. I'd like to request, Board President, that we close tonight's meeting in their memories. And that concludes my Chancellor's report. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4.1, Peralta Community College District sunshining of collective bargaining agreement with Service Employees International, Local 1021 for negotiations of a successor agreement. Chancellor?
Board President, this is an information item tonight that is sunshining the district's articles for a successor agreement, and there will be a public hearing at the next meeting to allow for public comment.
Okay. Item 4.2, Service Employees International Union, Local 1021, sunshining of collective bargaining agreement for negotiations of a successor agreement.
Board President, this is similar. This is SEIU's sunshining of the for full contract negotiations for a successor agreement. And we will have, again, public comments on the proposals from both the district and SEIU will be received at the next governing board meeting on March 24th, 2026.
Thank you. Item 5.1, the Chancellor will introduce the item and welcome the presenter of the CWL. After the presentation, we can ask questions and the motion.
Thank you, Board President. So tonight we are receiving the annual audit reports for the 2023-2024 or 25 fiscal years for the Peralta Colleges Foundation. Tonight, joining us from CDWL, our audit firm, is Kyle Holtz. And so Kyle is online.
Good evening, everyone.
And Kyle, I'll turn it over to you for the presentation. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. First off, I'd like to thank everyone for allowing me to present virtually this for this meeting. I'll be sharing the audit, kind of walking through the high-level topics, and then if there's any specific questions, we can kind of go back to those. As was noted, is a comparative audit. CWDL specifically, we only completed the June 30th, 2025, but for comparative reasons due to FASB, you'll see both your prior audit report presented along with the current year audit report. You'll see an unqualified opinion, which is the highest opinion we can award for the foundation on a material aspect of these financials.
Kyle, could you please help me and make the screen share bigger, please? So if you could zoom in, it would be helpful for the audience.
Are you guys able to see that on your screens now?
Thank you.
Perfect. First aspect of the core financials, of course, goes to the statement of financial position. One of the kind of discussion points / findings I'd like to point out now so it can be seen. From the 24, there has been an improvement, is the cash and cash equivalents of about 1.7 million. A large portion of that was invested during the fiscal year of June 30th, 2025. You can see that 986 right here in the kind of current investments. With that being said, the goal of the Higher Ed Foundation is to kind of service the students, fulfill the mission statement, serve the college. So we'd like to see that cash and cash equivalents decrease a little more, kind of put into the investment and the endowment investment. Now, of course, if there is donor restricted portions of time barriers or anything like that, that can be noted and would be kind of a non-current or long-term cash holding until that restriction is released. And with new FASB guidelines going into effect for your June 30th, 2026, that would be noted in a new footnote. Going down is the statement of activities, kind of breaks up your contributions, corporate grants, and investment return. One thing is the investment return net. does have your investment fees allocated into that with new FASB guidance. The only time you'd see that extracted out is on related to your 990. You would see that in the reconciliation page. So that is one of those tricky areas where you'd have to see that tied out. Then we did have to do kind of a reclassification on the with donor restrictions versus the without donor restrictions. In the endowment tracking, which is the other kind of discussion point reconciliation, we noted that the with donor restricted beginning balance was below that of what was held in the endowments. So that is due to that reclassification here. And that is what is showing kind of this negative with donor restriction, and everything being held in with donor restriction. Currently, the assets aren't being tracked in those endowments consistently and allocated in a timely manner. We'd like to see kind of a weighted average quarterly. Monthly's best, but it is hard with investment statements kind of being allocated out at the end of the month. So that's where our recommendation and findings stemming from on the second part of that. The two do correlate together when a lot of contributions, grants, or cash is being held and it's not being invested out. You can't notate that in your endowments and your restrictions unless it's being specifically tracked in another bank statement or a bank account or money market kind of CD style holdings. And then being comparative, you'll see kind of a match to the prior year where the revenues staying pretty constant, investments are staying about the same. So there wasn't any big material swings or analytical concerns in that. And then the final portion of the statement of revenues is the expanded statement of functional expenses. This kind of shows the program, service, and fundraising expenses, how that's being broken up. And this is a good allocation. We like to see 80 to 90% being program and fundraising related to, and you can see total expenses is a little over $1 million, and just total program services alone is almost $900,000. So the foundation's functionally operating how we would anticipate a foundation to operate, and is right in line with all the higher ed foundations within the state of California. And then that same summary of statement of functional expenses, of course, for that prior year. And then the final kind of core financial statement is your statement of cash flows. Allocates out kind of the acquisition of investments, proceeds from investments, and kind of just that general activity. The kind of hot topic word right now in FASB is the non-financial contributions or in-kind. So this is donated services, donated salaries, equipment that's donated to the foundation, stuff of that nature. About 2 years ago, FASB changed. They want to see that reported and tracked, just so community members know. It may not be a cash contribution, but say there's an auto shop program at the college, and vehicles are being donated from the community. That can be shown and supported on the financials. The next kind of general footnotes are your note 1 and note 2. This just goes into the general about Peralta College Foundation, what their mission is, and then what accounting policies and methodologies that are used throughout. The notes are here to support the material figures that are reported on those core financials that we just reviewed. Walk down. So you can see kind of a breakdown of those mutual funds and exchange traded on those current assets and current investments. We were able to trace these out as level 1, noted on the investment statements of support that was provided to us from the organization. And then a full breakdown of what makes up the secondary portion of that investment line item. And this kind of here's a summary of the activity in those endowments. It's a little atypical on the investment return amount. We are typically across the board for most foundations on how the investment agencies are managing them. We're seeing a larger return in prior years. But I think with the review of these endowments that are being included in there would give the foundation a better representation of their total earnings. And it will be a large undertaking for the foundation to get a full understanding. Corpus is a great baseline. We didn't see any issues with underwater endowments being misspent or misuse of those funds. So that's a great place to be as a foundation. So the building blocks are there, and we were able to see that in our testing. This is so we can see here too in the analysis, the endowment end of the year investments, that 1.2 million. Last year is the 1.0 million. And then if we go back up to draw, so everyone has a picture of it, we can see that endowment investment is 1.8 or 1.0 on the financials. And that's because we couldn't allocate out what was in the investment statements and what was being held in those investments directly to those endowments, but we're able to trace out those endowment earnings, those corpus amounts, those contracted, without concern there. So that's why you're seeing that variance currently. But I think we can, with the work of the district, because I know the foundation is financials are being brought to the district, will help resolve that and clear up that work with the work of the district, hard work of the district we'll be putting in over the next year. And then you can see the breakdown of those contribution non-financial assets I talked about in that statement of cash flow. Rent and utilities was the majority of it, or was 100% of it this year. A little bit of program supplies in prior year. I've walked down. So as I noted, there's two findings related to this. The endowment fund monitoring and reconciliation. So we would add a minimum quarterly, but I'd recommend as those monthly statements come in, a weighted average allocation of those endowments be placed out and allocated out within the system, so that if a donor comes to the door and says, what's my endowment at? How many scholarships have been awarded out of that endowment? As a, hypothetical situation, is if I was a donor and I had a corpus amount of $20,000 and I wanted to go to the business program, I'd like to be able to see how those students would be able to run a report from the foundation to immediately be able to provide that to the student or to the donor so they can have an understanding of that. And that, of course, goes hand in hand with the cash and management development on those donated funds, just making sure those are protected by the FDIC insurance thresholds on those bank statements or on the banking institutions, and then being reinvested back to the students to give the best benefit to the community, the students, and the district as possible. And as I had noted, management's response is the district is taking kind of control and agreement through a financial aspect of the affairs starting in fiscal year 25-26 for the foundation. One item I did note, kind of high level early on, was this was the first year, so our focus was the 25, and we brought the prior year auditors 24. With the RFP process being a little later, typically you would have this audit report with the district with the other bond reports at the same time. So starting with the district now, you'll anticipate to have all your audit reports presented in a timely manner and all together in the future. I'd like to open the floor if there's any specific questions from board members.
Trustee Brito?
Okay, thank you for that presentation. Question on the investments and on the statement of financial position. Was your recommendation that there more of the cash and cash equivalents be placed into investments? And if so, how much more would you say should be placed, and how much should be left for annual operating expenses into the cash and cash equivalents?
So it's a twofold kind of response. Typically for foundation year size, just being under the FDIC, that $250,000 threshold is right at that. It's a good place to be. But an analysis will need to occur with those endowments on how much of that is restricted to donors, how much needs to be allocated out based on their weighted average of earnings through those investments. So I can't give you a specific answer on that. I think once we have that detailed analysis completed, then I can provide that farther detail with you. But that's unfortunately more of a bookkeeping kind of process, and being auditors, we can't step into that detail. But for the cash specifically, about that 250,000 threshold.
Thank you, Kyle. Board Vice President, I'll have CEO Nelson. This is an area we've been looking at. Response.
Sure. So I appreciate that, and thank you for that presentation, Kyle. So as far as your question, so one of the challenges that were found is that the foundation was holding cash too long instead of investing that money into the endowments that were already established. So by holding that cash for 6, 8, 12 months and not investing it, we lost valuable interest on those corpus accounts. So the goal behind the foundation audit was to make sure that we're investing those monies, and also too, we're ensuring based on the FDIC thresholds, which is 250,000, that we're not exceeding the bank account limits. So if something were to happen, we're insured for the value. $250,000 on a corpus of our foundation size is plenty appropriate enough. It's actually sometimes less than what we actually hold at the district in cash flow. So because we keep ours invested at the county treasury as an example. So we want to make sure we stay below that threshold. We maintain our daily operating costs, but at the same time, we want to make sure we invest our money routinely to make sure we earn the interest accordingly.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Trustee.
And this might be more for the chancellor and her team. This is a long time coming. We actually have, I mean, in the 7 years that I've been here, I don't think I've actually seen an audit for the foundation. So there was one audit, I think it was in 2019 or 2020, where there was a component or a paragraph there that acknowledged the foundation, but acknowledged that the foundation was separate from the district and therefore would not be a part of the audit. So thank you. There's a part of me that's also a little curious, obviously, because this is 24, 25. I guess I just I'm excited that we're going to be partnering, supporting them. And I just really want to thank you for the 2 comments or the 2 management responses here, because as we know, this district is dealing with so much right now. And what you're doing is you are supporting the foundation by bringing it in. And I don't know if anybody, and I'm sure all of you had read this, but I really just want to read it out loud. In your 2 findings here, it says that the management response, in response to the second finding, is that through the forthcoming master agreement, the district shall allocate appropriate personnel to ensure that these duties are segregated and they're done. So again, the fact that with everything that is happening at this district and all the things that are forthcoming, you are ensuring that the foundation within your purview, or at least in a master agreement, and that you're going to help take care of the problems and issues that have been very much there. So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Thank you, Trustee Napoli Bellarice. The foundation is an auxiliary of the district. And so what we've been doing, and just really grateful to the foundation team, past executive directors, the board of the foundation, who really tried to bridge the time so that we can do exactly what's needed to do, which is give scholarships and support to our students. And so this really is an opportunity, like we're experiencing our district transformation, that the Peralta Colleges Foundation is part of that and is part of our legacy. And hence, the board will be seeing from now on annually the audits. You'll see the budget for the foundation board as well. We'll also see it, and we'll be working to bring you updated agreements, including the master service agreement bylaws that the foundation board is working on now. And I really am hopeful about the pathway forward. Want to thank our college presidents who have also been serving in that role, and certainly to CEO Nelson for his support. And Board President Quinlan, who's stood strong and tall on the foundation board. So appreciate that.
We finished with this item? Do
So
we
you
need to
call a vote.
call the question?
A motion to approve the audit.
I move to approve the audit of the Peralta Foundation for 2023-24
And 24-25.
and 24-25.
Is there a second? Second.
Second.
So motion was made by trustee Brito and I seconded the motion. Any discussion? Call the question?
Student trustee Malik,
Yes.
student trustee Migliaccio,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Ewan, trustee Napoli Bellarice,
Yes.
trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
trustee Johannes,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Brito,
Yes.
trustee Quinlan.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. Item 6.1, approval of all consent items. Can I get a motion to approve the consent items?
Second.
Motion was made by trustee Gonzalez Ewan and the second was made by trustee Gonzalez Brito. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Malik,
Yes.
student trustee Migliaccio,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Ewan, trustee Napoli Bellarice, trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
trustee Johannes,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Brito,
Yes.
trustee Quinlan.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. Item 11.1, Chancellor.
Thank you, Board President. Trustees, as a follow-up to the study session you had at Berkeley City College, thank you again to President Richardson for hosting us at Berkeley City College for the study session. This item tonight represents one step in the district's ongoing work to implement a comprehensive community safety model shaped through extensive engagement with our campuses and shared governance groups. As the district continues implementing this model, participation in the California Peace Officer Standards Training or POST program pursuant to Education Code Section 72330 authorizes the district to establish a community college police department and ensure that any positions hired meet statewide professional standards for training, certification, and accountability. This model, as you heard and appreciated all of your incredible questions, is a 2-year runway of building through our model, but this model also includes, as we discussed several weeks ago, the behavioral health specialists, community safety service assistants, and student safety aides, as well as cadets, working together to support the safety and well-being of our campus communities. So I am recommending adoption of the resolution number 2526-206, authorizing participation in the California Peace Officer Standards and Training Program. Thank you.
So moved.
Student trustee Malik,
Yes.
student trustee Migliaccio,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Ewan, trustee Napoli Bellarice, trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
trustee Johannes,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Brito,
Yes.
trustee Quinlan. Motion passes.
Yes. Item 11.2, Chancellor.
Thank you, Board President. So this item is asking the board to consider approval of an agreement incorporating CMOS Information Technology Goods and Services agreements with Net Experts LLC in the amount of $238,902.44 for purchase and installation of the Valcom IP paging and emergency notification process. As highlighted in our community safety update presented to the board at the study session on February 24th, we are dedicated to creating an environment that supports a secure and safe environment. This Valcom system is allowing us to provide clear, reliable audio for emergency alerts, routine announcement, and ensuring that messages are heard in all areas. So this service will allow us to actually push rave notifications and those things to phones on people's desks and offices and classrooms, so they don't have to rely on their mobile phone or email to get the emergency notifications, as we learned recently.
Can you get a motion to approve 11.2?
I move approval.
Second.
Motion was made by trustee Gonzalez Brito, and the second was made by trustee Migliaccio. Sorry, I forgot your last name.
Leo.
Student trustee Malik,
Yes.
student trustee Migliaccio,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Ewan, trustee Napoli Bellarice,
Yes.
trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
trustee Johannes,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Ewan. Trustee Gonzalez Brito,
Yes.
trustee Quinlan.
Yes.
I swear I was staring at your name. I don't know how. Motion passes.
Come on, people.
Item 11.3. Chancellor?
Thank you, Board President. This is the board's second reading of Board Policy 2710, Conflict of Interest, that was last updated in 2011. This has gone through the Planning and Budget Committee review and approval and is being recommended to you. I recommend approval.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Move to approve. So moved.
Second?
I can second. Sure.
Motion was made by trustee Johannes. The second was made by trustee Migliaccio. Call the question, please.
Student trustee Malik,
Yes.
student trustee Migliaccio,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Ewan, trustee Napoli Bellarice, trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
trustee Johannes,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Brito,
Yes.
trustee Quinlan.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. I now have a conflict of interest on item 11.4 and 11.5. So trustee Gonzalez Brito is going to take over the chair as I remove myself from the room.
Thank you, Board President Quinlan. So if it's okay with the board, we can take these two items together, 11.4 and 11.5. Consider ratification of the payment warrant report and consider review of the purchase order report.
Move approval.
Any discussion? Okay, we can call the question.
Student trustee Malik,
Yes.
student trustee Migliaccio,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Ewan, trustee Napoli Bellarice, trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
trustee Johannes,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Brito,
Yes.
trustee Quinlan. Oh, abstain. Apologies.
Board of Trustees reports. Are there any reports? Go ahead.
Just a very small report. As many of you know in this room, student government elections are just about happening, and to help promote that and to make sure everyone is informed as possible. You know, I think last year it was a paragraph and a picture, but as we all know, like a picture paints 1,000 words, a paragraph is going to be 250. I would love to do what I love to do best, and that's to make videos. So any of the students listening, I would love to highlight you as a candidate. I'm only doing student trustee and presidential candidates across the. I think like doing all the senators. Like my editors would, would not be too happy with me if I sent them 50 clips. But for those listening who are running for the trustee position or running for a president position, student president position, please, I sent out a text to all the ASGs, linked my phone number, and be on the lookout for those to be more informed.
Thank you for your service on that. Go ahead.
Wonderful opportunity for students at each of the campuses. There is the 2026 Peralta African and African American Scholarship, which closes on Friday, March 27th at noon. If you know any students or are in any spaces where there are many students, please encourage them to apply. It does not hurt. There are even application writing workshops on March 17th and March 18th on Zoom, and it is open to all students. Now, bridging off an idea mentioned earlier, we had the Shared Governance Summit on February 27th, where we had this continuous talk on how we all can be aligned for transformative efforts in this district. Something that I observed and was suggested to me by many students was the student life at each of these campuses, as well as events like club events, and how we can streamline the process there. There is a unification task force meeting this Thursday, which I'm delighted to speak at and raise up these suggestions, particularly around how we can combine the different, club processes, as well as ensure that the student life directors and the interclub councils at each campus can sort of reach students in one centralized way and promote, the events and the resources that are already at our campus, which might not be seen by everyone. So, yeah.
I want to first congratulate all the faculty today, the 11 faculty who received tenure. What an accomplishment. I'm sorry I didn't get to see the full celebration. It's always nice to see the faculty, but also their families. That's always one of the best parts of the celebration. I also want to extend, I want to just say I'm sad about Francis. I always remember Francis's smile. Like that's the first thing I remember about him. And he always greeted me with that smile. And the other thing I remember about him is I always see him at a labor event, like at PFT Hall, at a Labor Council event or action. He's a union man, So I want to extend my condolences to Francis Howard's friends and family and his PFT family. I do understand that the PFT leadership is working with the library faculty to hold a small gathering at the library to remember him. So please stay tuned for more information. He was a PFT vice president and a member of the PFT bargaining team and a union man. So let's remember him that way. So,
Nikki.
I'll go. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I will also certainly do the two things, and that is the celebration today of the 11 tenured faculty. How amazing, how wonderful. It brought me back to my period in time when I was went through tenure, and it's a wonderful, wonderful process. So congratulations to the 11 faculty. The other part, of course, is with incredible sadness and surprise that Dr. Francis Howard passed. I have to say that I think I encountered him more over Zoom than I did in person, and that was during the time that we were online because he participated in so many different committees. And for the board meetings, he would stay on for those board meetings that went on until about 11 or 12 o'clock at night, I remember. And I did encounter him a few times in person too, which was really wonderful for me because I think I have a very good sense. I can read character very well, and I don't come across too many people where I can feel just how good and incredible a spirit is. And I have to say that when I met him in person those few times, I already knew that he was just this just amazing man, just this amazing human being, this amazing spirit. And for the times that I encountered him online, I don't think I can say that I had encountered any other individual online who was as present as he always was in every committee, in every meeting that he chose to connect to be online for. So tremendous loss, tremendous sadness. And I certainly, my best wishes and my condolences to all of his family members and all of his friends. But I could also say, and I just experienced a little bit of him, that I am so thankful that I had that opportunity. And I could only imagine what it would have been like if I had met him more and gotten to know him more over an extended period of time. And with that, I would also say, I think we all wish at the end of our life that people would appreciate us and remember the best things of us in the way that that's all I have of him. That's all I remember of him.
Thank you. God, it's been a busy week or two here. And one of the things that I note is just the depth and richness of the community. The piano party with the chancellor behind the bar. Okay, serving up the cocktails. That was that was great. And I'm really just so pleased to see the kind of the revitalization of our foundation work. And I'm looking forward to this board working with the chancellor to really bring a new spirit there. And many thanks to the people who have over decades tried to, invest in that effort. And I'm looking forward to the kind of the new work. The Lunar New Year celebration here also demonstrated to me just the richness. And, you take, in some ways, these things happen year after year after year, and then you forget how much labor goes into pulling off a big event like that, so thank you. This past week, Chancellor mentioned she and President Johnson and Trustee Quinlan, President Quinlan, came down to my social movements class at De Anza College. My students were so excited to have them there. We had a really interesting kind of dialogue along with Alvin Ramos, the Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences down at De Anza, not only on the sort of the political development that people go through. Louis was talking about participating in the May Day riots and, just sort of the really early kind of rebel activism that went into the formation of his political identity. But then we also spent a good amount of time talking about the uses of inside power. So you're not always banging on the door trying to get in. Sometimes you're sitting at the seat of power, and then how you use that power is really important. And these students really got a good look at both of those things, which was really, to me, super helpful. The tenure reception today, the thing that I want to mark on is this. We're in a really horrible time right now in this country. And so having the protection of due process for academic freedom, for intellectual freedom is so critical. And you think about it, not just for the faculty member, but most particularly for the students, because there is so much nonsense and disinformation out there right now. I was seeing a report yesterday that Turning Point USA is hiring over 600 organizers to put onto campuses across the country, and the damage that the right wing is doing in this country right now. What is the bulwark for, of strength? It is our, on our campuses, it's really it's the faculty and who are, and if they're not protected with those due process rights, it doesn't go nearly as well. So, for everybody who's involved in that process, thank you. And then I want to say a word about Francis. I served with him on the Faculty Association's BIPOC committee for a number of years. And he was a guy who is so understated in many places, but he just carried with him such integrity so that when he spoke, people really, paid attention, sat up and listened. And he was a real pleasure to work with. He never brought drama and always brought common sense and a real grounding. I think he will be missed here and in the community. So, I think we mourn his passing and appreciate his life. Thank you.
Oh, Trustee Folk, are you?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, President Quinlan. I just want to start by acknowledging, of course, the passing of Dr. Francis Howard. I also met him many times over the years at different labor events, and I just want to extend my condolences to his family, his PFT colleagues, and students that he worked with over the years. And so losing members of our community is always hard to hear. And so I know he'll be missed throughout our district. I also want to congratulate our newly tenured faculty. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to join you today. I definitely was there in spirit, and I want to recognize that milestone. We are very lucky to have such committed faculty across our district, so I want to offer my congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. So I've just a couple of comments. First of all, the tenure review faculty. I mentioned in my comments, it's one of my two favorite times of the year. We celebrate success, our tenure of our faculty, and our student success at graduation. And to me, those are the two highlights and kind of the purpose of the whole thing. And it's just amazing when we look through what it takes to get somebody tenured. I talked about the fact that it starts long before that person's even actually hired, with our faculty and administrators going through a faculty prioritization process, and then hiring committees and tenure review committees. It takes a village to make one tenured person, and a big village. And what the work that's put in, I think, is almost always well deserved. The process is critical to the survival, especially the way our education is under attack now. It seems like that basically they want a country of people that can't read, can't write, can't do anything except figure out how not to vote, and then they'll be happy. And I don't think that's what this institution is about. In regard to Dr. Francis Howard, there's some people that are happy and there's some people that are sad, and there's some people that live with a fierce joy. And that's the way I looked at Francis Howard. He was a joyful person. Whether he was upset or whether he was happy about something, he was driven by living life full of joy. And that's just a really impressive way to see somebody live. And the final thing I would like to remind people of, we discussed the foundation tonight, and this is scholarship review time. So I will encourage all my board members to sign on to the foundation site and do a little part of the effort. We have, I think, over 430 scholarships to review. Each one goes through 2 reviews. So chip in a little bit and find out what our students are thinking, what their lives are about, and why we do this work. Sasha, do we have any announcements for tonight?
Yes, Board President, we do. Love Your Future. Finish faster with short-term 10-week and 8-week classes offered at each of the colleges in a wide range of subjects. Visit the Peralta website to start the application or enrollment process. Enrollment for summer and fall classes will open up in April. No classes tomorrow, Wednesday, March 11th, for College Professional Development Day, also called College Flex Day. Classes resume on Thursday, March 12th. Nominations are now open for the 2026 Flying Pig Awards. The nomination form is on the Chancellor's website. You can nominate any employee, faculty, classified, professionals, administrators, and student employees, and student leaders too. Please submit your nominations by Tuesday, March 17th. The next meeting of the Board of Trustees will be held on Tuesday, March 28th, 2026.
And to close tonight, we will adjourn the meeting with a moment of silence in honor of the profound impact and dedicated service of the Reverend Dr. Robert McKnight, Ms. Dominique Dozer, Dr. Christine Johnson McPhail, and Dr. Francis Howard. Their contributions to the Peralta Community College District and the countless lives they have influenced will not be forgotten. Thank you, everyone.